Shape Anew, some of y'all know, Shape Anew plus Gingerbread Cabin is a little bit of a white whale of mine. In theory, it's very powerful compared to Creativity, where you are you're getting an artifact instead of a creature, but the big upside is that Gingerbread Cabin getting a food token instead of a dwarf token allows you to kind of dodge creature removal, breaking up your 4-mana card. Creativity kind of gets around that by going just X equals 2 a lot of the times, but this is a really nice way to just plop an artifact into play. The problem, of course, is that artifacts kind of suck in Modern, big artifacts to put into play. But there have been several times I've tried to Shape Anew Bolas the Citadel into play. Now, I started here. So there's been a chatter who's been playing this kind of like fair Cabal Coffers, version of Citadel, where they like put Shieldred into play and they draw a lot of cards and they just hold up like free counter spells on the top and cast them for free. And I thought that was kind of interesting. So I was trying to build like a Sultai version of that deck, where you like Shape Anew into Citadel, and you have like Shieldred, you've got Profane Tutor, and then you can like hold up free interaction. And maybe that's still a version of the deck we'll play, but it kind of devolves into this combo version. I also I just goldfished this a few times, and it feels like it's missing something. But I was trying to use like Phyrexian Tower plus Greedy Food Breeder and Scrambling Gas, the ones that make treasure tokens. Also, Freebooter Scries when it dies, which is really good with Citadel. And like Viserys here to control the top of your library, and then the treasure token generators and Phyrexian Tower to ramp into Citadel. I was trying this for a bit. I was solitary, and I wasn't very impressed just even in the solitaire phase. But I thought it was kind of cool. But anyways, so I was messing around with like the fair Sultai build. And I don't exactly know how it devolved into like this pure combo version, but it's been really, really fun. The idea is that your Weather the Storm, gain 3 life Storm is going to give you enough life to kind of churn to your deck and generate a ton of Storm to eventually Grapeshot. You may notice we don't have any red sources in the deck anymore. Yesterday we had a Stomping Ground. We had some Pyroclasms in the board. The Stomping Ground was really for the Pyroclasms, not for the Grapeshot, although it was nice that you could cast this. It's nice that you could cast this spell, I guess. But I ended up not liking the 4th color. I think it was a bit too painful. And we're just playing Fatal Push at the side, which I think is better against Prowess anyways, which is kind of the more popular aggro deck than Boros, which I think is an adjustment that's good to have made. But if Grapeshot gets stuck in your hand, all you do is Brainsurge it to the top and Grapeshot. And then the quantity of Storm you have is really like it doesn't really matter how much you need to do, because eventually you're going to get to Weather the Storm for a ton and just go Noxious Revival over and over and over and over again, generating Storm to Grapeshot, or go Grapeshot, Revival, Grapeshot to get going. So the Grapeshot, very good win con. It's nice that it's only 2 mana compared to some other stuff you could play. So if you find it early, you can just clear it from the top kind of easily. Noxious Revival, Profane Tutor, these 2 cards have been a huge part of the package, maybe the part I'm the most excited for, where Profane Tutor makes a lot of sense with Citadel, right? Where it comes down turn 4, which allows you to grab the Shape Anew and cast it in the same turn. That's good. It's a 0-mana Demonic Tutor when you have Citadel in play, but the problem is it tutors to the hand, not the top of your library, which means that a 0-mana Demonic Tutor isn't even, or a zero life loss Demonic Tutor isn't really that valuable. But with Noxious Revival in your deck, all of a sudden it's kind of like Vampiric Tutoring for Vamp, but the Vamp is better. Where all of a sudden, if you hit this with Citadel, you can grab a Noxious Revival, which can clear the top of the library for you. And so you're using your Brainsurges, your Preordains, your Noxious Revivals, your Profane Tutors to clear the top of your library. And then also when you're hitting, like Explore and Growth Spiral are really fun, where when you cast these also let you like put lands into play that allow you to clear the top of your library with the spells in your hand sometimes. Or with the case of Explore, you get to play it, which will give you an extra land drop. So if there's a land on top of Citadel, you can just play it. It's been a very fun deck. You win on turn 3. You win when you Shape Anew into Citadel more often than you don't, especially when you already have a Revival in your hand to clear the top of your library. The deck is very good at winning turn 4, has a lot of turn 3 wins, with Pact of Negation up to protect the combo too, which has been very exciting. I will say, I do not think this deck is currently well positioned. There is a lot of prowess, which is just so good against this deck. The Gorios also with like their Thought Seizes and Force of Negations has been kind of tough, although it's not too scary because you've got the Pact of Negation plan, which is like good to combat that. But Prowess specifically is like turn 3 kills that are pressuring your life total, where the Citadel is like harder to leverage, and then also they play a lot of like spell pierces and stuff post board. So like that matchup has been a disaster. But if we could dodge Prowess some, hopefully we could show off the potential of the deck. Yeah, it does trigger on cast. Cool thought though. So in the play against Akihira, so trying to Profane Tutor for a Pact of Negation seems like something we are going to probably plan to do here. Is the zoom on this mode broken for everybody else too, or do I have some setting unset? I guess if I draw Pact of Negation, I probably do I spiral next turn? Not sure. It feels like we were pretty incentivized to try to play a slower game. Surveil Bug. I would really like to not suspend another Profane Tutor next turn in case they just slam Teferi. ChatGPT says new spells work towards storm count. Do not get do not get magic rules advice from ChatGPT. I've like basically never seen it be right. Do not recommend. Wait, this is blue green? I guess we suspend another Profane Tutor here. And then if they slam a Teferi, we could just go for the Shape Anew. So they have the Fun Raveler. But we could maybe still have some fun here if they don't have a Force of Negation. It's a really good card to see on top. So I think I put the Profane Tutor on top, which can grab me another Noxious Revival, which is like an extra top of library clearer. Yo, I also didn't realize they didn't bounce the food. That definitely would have been the move, huh? Okay, there's our first Weather the Storm. Yeah, let's go ahead and get a storm count a little higher. I have one more revival in the deck after this, which I guess we might as well grab. Might as well cast that. So let's go Growth Spiral. No, it's Explore. No, Spiral, because then we can cast the Explore afterwards. So Spiral, and then on top, the Weather the Storm. Gain 27. Okay, I'm going to try it. Yield to all. Yield to all. Okay, the second, you got to push it twice, I guess. All right, so we have two Noxious Revivals to clear the top of the library. I think I'm going to go ahead and explore because it kind of double clears because it lets me play another land later and it clears the Hedge Maze from the top. So let's go. Shouldn't matter a ton. Yeah, just cast the Genesis, have the Explore in the hand to cast off the Gingerbread Cabin. Then Brainsurge. So now we could make Infinite Storm, or not Infinite Storm, but one Storm for one life with the Noxious Revival. That being said, we're gonna find the Grapeshot. We're gonna get him dead. A cool 61 life here. Bottom. I guess bottom doesn't matter if we draw the Grapeshot after, because we can just Noxious Revival, Brainsurge, of course. There's the Grapeshot. They can't really have Force of Negation. I was kind of thinking like Solitude plus Force of Negation might be something to think about. Sounds weird. Serum Visions might be better in this deck. Serum Visions could be, it's kind of better on the combo turns, isn't it? Force in general. So we could storm for 119 more by Noxious Revival. Just if you do want to play through a little bit of life gain, that's an option to you. Okay, so Decays kill Narset Teferi High Noon. Definitely seem like something we want, like probably 3 of against blue-white control. We want the Veils, and I think I'm gonna cut the Spirals. Maybe I cut the Profane Tutors because they're so bad against Teferi. I could see that being fine. Although of course Teferi is not as big a problem, but still being able to kill Teferi is nice. So you can like cast Pact of Negation from the top of your deck while you're comboing. To be fair, could they even beat 200 life? Probably. Yeah, like they just cast like 3 Solitudes and Kahira, and then they have like 30 turns to attack for 10 at a time. I have to pay mana for spells if there's a Damping Sphere in play. Yeah, the party one has been locked on my Magic Online for months now. If anyone knows how to get rid of it, let me know. I'm kind of scared to even address it. It might gain sentience. Let's go to 6 on the draw against control. I do like having double veil. We are on the draw. I think I'm going to try this on 6 on the draw. Probably mulligan on 7. Yeah, White Korean, you don't ask ChatGPT magic questions. It just doesn't know right now. Maybe one day it'll be as good as a judge, but it's don't expect to get a right answer about magic rules. Yeah, I worked on Quarian Ranger Ashaya off stream. I ended up not finding a draft that really looked good enough to even like test. There might be one out there, but I couldn't find a build that even was like, yeah, let's test this. Maybe I should explore, since Spire would have been better against them playing Narset this turn. Well, we're here. Well, pretty bad top deck on the Citadel, I guess. Let's go ahead and cycle the Veil Summer. This might be a game where we hardcast the Citadel. I think we could have got Overgrown Tomb with that in mind, but they're gonna have a Surgical Extraction. Might be going to game 3. They've got a Force of Negation now. Then they grab a Consign. Consign's not too good against us. Maybe sometimes on Weather the Storm turns. Let's cycle a Veil Summer, looking for a Shape Anew or Abrupt Decay. Okay, probably not casting Brainsurge right now. They're discarding the hand size. My opponent just discarded Days Undoing. Oh no. Isochron Scepter. Okay, well, I feel pretty good about the decays. Let's just go ahead and get into game 3. Do I want the 4th Abrupt Decay? It seems a bit high. Let's just go ahead and keep this this config. Again, the tutors can be really nice, but I think just becoming better against Teferi is something that makes sense. Also kind of weak to Chant sometimes. I think 3 decays is a good number against them. Yeah, maybe. I think I agree. Spiral is probably better than Explorer since we've got all the decays, and then it's better against Narset. Good call. Just kind of used to Explorer being better since it's better to like hit off the Citadel on your combo turns. All right, let's go. Mulligan on 7. Not a very good 6. Not a matchup you want to mulligan in very aggressively. We do have Brainsurge, and we can put back the Citadel on the Surveyor. I think I'm just going to keep. Very tough to mold a 5 on the play in this matchup. Okay, I was hoping I would draw this, and we did draw this. I think I'm just getting basic force to keep my life total higher, which is, always important in your Citadel combo decks. But this lets me Brainsurge and Shuffle next turn. Against Boy Control, how should you use Consign against Scepter, the spell, or the imprint trigger? I mean, it should be mostly the same, right? I guess it should be the spell because they can Teferi pick up the Scepter. Unless you feel like they have Veil of Summer, then it's better to target the imprint. So they got a Force of Negation. I wouldn't hate trading Force of Negation for Brainsurge, but I think with that long of a pause, we can kind of comfortably assume that they have a Force of Negation. I'm going to fetch a Gingerbread Cabin. And be pretty sad if they've got another Narset. This hand doesn't mind Teferi so much. Okay. So I guess one thing is getting my Cabin tokens a bit risky, but I think I need to so I can Preordain into Shape Anew this turn. Although we're going to get Force of Negation if that happens, so I don't know. Well, let's not draw either of these, huh? I guess let's Preordain again instead of Brainsurge, no fetch. Bottom. Gain 9. So we have this could be another Cabin. Could also, I think, really realistically be a hardcast Bolas Citadel game. I did add the 3rd black source to the deck. Interesting. So let's put back the Grapeshot. I think I'm going to put back Hedge Maze also. And then I don't think I really care a lot about decaying the Teferi right now. I think I'm actually going to draw the Hedge Maze. And then do I want to surveil the Grapeshot into the yard? I guess no. So let's shuffle. Let's get a tapped Overgrown Tomb. Then we can surveil. Then we can think about just casting the Citadel next turn. Okay, I have to keep this on top. Although it's kind of okay because then this can be a Cabin for a future Shape Anew. Kick a Consult. Okay. Was it better to hold 2 mana and eat the food to deny a draw? I don't know. Gotta use our mana, We didn't have the Shape Anew, so it's not like the token was that valuable anyways. So we draw a new card. Oh, sorry, it was the Overgrown Tomb, duh. So I think we're just gonna go Brainsurge, fetch, and then slam the Citadel. Yeah, I don't think I have any huge takeaways from Houston. I think overall the metagame looks pretty solid. I think that I think Titan being the most played deck. I don't know that that's ever happened at a tournament this big. I could not recall. Oh, they found a scepter. I can't recall ever hearing about a modern tournament where Titan is the most played deck. I think so. I think that that's really interesting. I think overall, I guess I don't have too much more to say. So because they have the Teferi minus, oh, okay. I guess we could maybe eventually Brainsurge the Citadel back, but kind of a womp womp. Maybe I should have still Shape Anew the food token. I guess I just was always going to eat a counterspell there. Deny the draw. So, oh, they do have the scepter. They've got the scepter to fairy lock. Okay. Dead. All right, let's play at least one more. Too high, I would imagine. Decay was an out. It's not an out because I can never cast it. So the play against prowess this time with maybe a turn 3 kill. Need to find a land. I guess we could hold up Weather the Storm. Seems like we'll just do that next turn if we brick on the land. Okay, so now we have the ability to Noxious Revival the Windswept Heath. We could also go like upkeep Revival into like Weather the Storm. Thank you, Major Burn, for the 3. Glad you're still liking the stream. Welcome back. So my opponent has hit me down to 16. Do they not have a second land? They do have a second land. Maybe another channeler. Okay. So I think that we should surveil instead of we could go get basic forest and then cast a Noxious Revival to save life, but surveilling looking for one of our mini gingerbread cabins. This is breaking my brain a little bit. I think we have to graveyard it. Oh no, sorry. We should have broke my brain. Because now we are gonna well, you know what? I think we just hold up Weather the Storm if we brick on the cabin. Ugh, my brain is so broken. Okay, so I could go Revival into Preordain into Weather the Storm. I guess we'll do that and just gain 12. But again, holding Revival on your combo turns is always really nice. Since if you brick, it's just a free clear to get the ball rolling. It makes you so much more likely you're going to kill. Not going to matter because we're going to shuffle. So gain 12 up to 25. And then next turn when we go off, we can have land drop available to play. Oh, 24. I forgot about the fetch. I built an Amulet in Citadel version with Ice to a combo, and honestly, I think there might be some hope for the deck if you could use spec powers. I'll take a look. I have always thought that like the extra land stuff with Citadel could be pretty interesting. My big issue is like your life total, the mana value is kind of high for the Citadel turns. I don't know if you play like Offshoot, the gain a life landfall creature. Could be. I don't know if there's a better gain life landfall card than Offshoot. Three cards in their hand. No love for Courser. I guess Courser is not really better than Offshoot because it's not very good with Citadels in play. Alright, we'll just see how much damage they can do. You didn't flashback Lava Dart? What the hell? Paid actor, paid actor, paid actor, paid actor. Yeah, I'll take a look at this. Hold on, let me do this combo real quick. So we want a Profane Tutor for Revival and then Weather the Storm. I guess we just Weather the Storm first, though, since we can't really put anything else on top of the deck particularly profitably. Oh, sorry. We should have put the Weather the Storm underneath the Profane Tutor. We could have responded to the cast, and got an extra storm trigger, like this. So I think they're pretty close to being dead to the Grapeshot plus Noxious Revival. I guess we'll go top. Grapeshot them, then Profane Tutor for the last Noxious Revival, then we can Grapeshot them 2 more times. Just grab whatever. Flashback Dart is the same amount of damage because no Delirium. I mean, they got 2 Surveils to find an instant. That might have been what they were thinking. Okay, so we're going to bring in Decays, we're going to cut Pact of Negations, although maybe, so I guess we play 1 Pact to get off Profane Tutor to try to like play around with Spell Pierce. Sometimes that's relevant. Okay. So I was told that this was an Ice Till version of the deck, that you built an Ice Till Explorer version. So 29 lands Bolas Citadel seems rough. Seems very, very rough. I think the way I would be building the deck if I was going to try to go more land focused is I'd be playing like, I still would be playing Shape Anew, and like I would be more green blue than Sultai. So I could still play Gingerbread Cabin, Shape Anew, which I think is great. And I would be playing a lot of landfall cards, and I'd be playing a lot of cards that give me extra land drops, so I can clear lands from the top with Bolas and Citadel, and then use them to trigger landfall. It would be like the general direction I'd want to start over there. Okay, we'll keep this on the draw against Prowess, maybe a turn 3. Yeah, that's okay. I just I was clickbaited. It's fine. I mean, I think this is an interesting way to build this, but it also seems like, kind of just worse than Amulet Titan, which is maybe this deck is too, but at least it's different enough that we can continue like going this direction. Like brewing a lot about is like exploring out in directions and figuring out what you can do, and a lot of times you just get so close to an existing deck and you find a worse version of an existing deck, and that's usually when I'm there. I try to stop, although sometimes I can't stop myself. Yeah, you can farm Storm with 2 revivals. Pretty fun when it comes up. So they're going to hit me down to 13 probably. They did keep 2 cards on top. Now, this, the problem here is this could mean that they have some reactive elements here, or they're going to have a really aggressive turn. If this was, I guess maybe this should just be Growth Spiral instead, post board, because the ability to like hold up Weather the Storm or Spiral would be so nice here. Yeah, I think we should keep this. It's even possible that we end up going like upkeep, Noxious Revival, Explore into Weather the Storm. Probably not all that. So I'm definitely feeling a Spell Pierce. I think we'll just chill. Getting a Weather Storm in the graveyard is also really valuable with these two revivals anyways. They had something there. Think about casting there. Haven't seen another Goy for your Brews for a long time. Well, we were playing them a little bit with Heroes Hangout with Dreadhorde Arcanist. I thought that deck was pretty solid. We had a good first league and a bad second league. Grazer to ramp and block and protect your life total. You could play Grazer. The problem with Grazer doesn't exactly ramp better than Explore or Planar unless you also have Flare. I think you could build a deck that way, although you don't want to be playing a lot of basics in the deck, which is an issue. All right, so Storm count is 1. Let me go spend a mana, get back Preordain, but then spend another mana to revival the revival, then gain 12. We have to do this now, otherwise we die if they just hold up the mana. And then I think this turn we just go Shape Anew on the food token, hope it resolves. I don't think it's going to resolve, but if it doesn't, then we can Noxious Revival the Shape Anew next turn. Any plans on returning to Ice Till Maverick? Well, we played a green-black Ice Till deck with Thoughtseize Fatal Push. Emrakul, which I liked. We 4-won 2 leagues with it, and then had a mediocre challenge. So I think that's the updated Maverick Ice Till deck. Every time I come back, we're getting smoked by a horrible matchup. Yeah, the metagame is so inhospitable to like combo decks like this right now. I did try to give a disclaimer. That being said, I think we might win this game. But we've won at least one game each match. Maybe this build is also kind of more of like a proof of concept kind of thing. I don't usually like describing decks that way, but here's the deck works. Can win with Pact of Negation on turn 3 pretty often, but fragile to like this matchup specifically has been so rough. Fragile to a lot of the top decks. Okay, so I'm gonna get another cabin, revival the Shape Anew. And then maybe go off game 3 if we fizzle here. This might be the kind of game where we end up sacking food token to gain 3 life on the combo turn. Or we're kind of, I guess we still have 2 revivals in the deck. Okay, it's not so bad. The lines in this deck are so fun. It's just so fun. Okay, so play a Heath. I think instead of cycling that from the top for 4 life, since we're so low life, we just have to cycle or crack the fetch here. Unfortunately, we see another one. I guess we're going to go down to 1 life. And then, very nice, we see the Weather the Storm, so we can crack the food to gain 3. Then we can Weather the Storm to gain 9. And then we get to keep going. Oh, sorry. Let's move this over here. Okay, so Citadel's still in play, and then there's just a land on top, but we're at 11 life now. They're going to have 4 cards in their hand after the untap, so we die a lot of the time here and then go to game 3, but we live some amount of the time. What about 1 Portal to Phyrexia? You said you'd rather win when you cast Shape Anew, just a thought. I mean, yeah, Portal to Phyrexia by itself, like if that's the only thing you have to play, like a fair game winning, like a fair game, oh, they got 5 cards. It doesn't seem very likely to do much. Okay, they play Wooded Foothills. Uh-oh. Okay, Channeler is one of the better cards we could see here, for sure. Lava Dart, one of the worst cards we could see. I think we live if they don't have another thing here. They graveyard a mutagenic growth. So they don't have a Preordain. Maybe I'm just dead to the Lava Dart, actually. I'm down to 9, and then, yeah, that's actually Xaxes. They didn't flashback Lava Dart before. Okay, they also have mutagen growth. All right. I don't know why they keep attacking and then redoing the math. It's fun. Okay, game 3. Let's go. On the play this time. We also want to shuffle our deck as why we self-targeted, yeah. And like get another Citadel out of the spot. Also Shape Anew their core steel cutter isn't like effective interaction there. They'll just get a bobble or a steel cutter there. Culling Ritual could be good. It could be. I think with the decays, like you just don't want to Profane Tutor for this almost ever. You just almost always want to Shape Anew instead. Oblivion to 25 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, I think it's a little slow. I mean, it could be okay. All right, let's keep. I'm going to try to surveil into an untapped land that lets me go for the turn 3 win. Or, sorry, I guess is that better than just... So if I go Cabin turn 1 instead. I guess it's just an extra look at a land, because then I have my draw... I have my draw step, the explore draw, and then the next draw step. Versus just the surveil and the draw step, so it's just 50% more looks. Let's set them all to 6. Capital 6 Orchard 2, yeah. I think that this is better because it just gives us an extra look at the 4th land. Definitely a little weird to get Breeding Pool and have this Profane Tutor stuck in our hand for a bit, but we got a plan we're going for. We also only have 1 Cabin left in the deck, but any fetch land could get it, so I don't think we care too much about playing this Cabin necessarily. We do Brick so far, although we still have the possibility to draw a fetch land. We could also draw Noxious Revival next turn, and then go Revival, Wooded Foothills, Explore, get Cabin, then Weather the Storm, gain 9. That's also kind of a good draw here. I guess Revival also would have been a good draw on any of our draw steps too. Yikes. Let's think and think and think and then play a bobble. All right, so down to 14. Hopefully we just draw the fetch land here. All right, holding up Weather the Storm now. They grab a Mutagenic Growth, which is basically +1 damage because it's 3 life for me, 4 damage for them. Have you ever tried to trick an opponent into giving a towel when they bobble me in paper? How do you mean? What is that like? You go, what was it? Tell me! Yeah, we've got Growth Spirals in the deck too. Explore is better overall on the combo turns. But it does shine at these kind of moments, I agree. Bummer, 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 bummer. So their hand is 6 spells here. I don't know exactly how alive it could be. Could be somewhat alive. Come on, hold up Spell Pierce. Although they know about the Pact of Negation, so I guess they're not going to do that. How does this take so long? Alright, well, this has been a very fun deck to work on. Again, kind of more of like a proof of concept style stream. Metagame is so inhospitable to, I think, these spell-based combo decks at the moment. These like all-in strategies. Maybe not so much Storm. Storm is a bit more resilient, but I think it's a cool build to have shown off. Maybe we'll get another tool at some point. Maybe not. But let's move on to our backup deck, which I did have to return, so I could grab the Abrupt Decay, so I've got to re-rent it here.